What is up guys, it's Meg giving you another deck for Link Evolution. This time we're going to honour the Supreme King by making an Evil Hero deck. Do note though that the Evil Hero support, the new support, isn't actually in this game. So I've had to make an older deck, which means I've had to merge it with the Masked Heroes and Elemental Heroes in order to make it actually decent. This deck is of course my own opinion of the day, and it's completely cool if you guys disagree with any of the cards I've put in this video. If you are struggling to find any cards of this deck or any other deck, like I always say guys, check out the card hub for it. Not only tells you where to find a card, it will tell you if it's in the card pack, challenge mode, campaign, and even how rare it is. So check that out if you do have the time. And with that, let's get into the video. Summons off guys is the one copy of Avian, Bestinatrix, Clayman, and Sparkman. These four you need, plus with Wildheart, in order to make the evil heroes. We are running one of each apart from Dark Gaia, so this deck is actually using near enough all of the evil heroes, and you just want one of each because it just makes the deck bricky if you have more than one. And the one copy of Elemental Hero, Blazeman. If this card is normal special summoned, you get the polymerization, which means you get to go into our Vision Heroes and also our Elemental Hero fusions as well. And also it does have another effect where you can send an Elemental Hero from the deck to the grave, and if you do, this card's attribute becomes the same. So it can't. So Blazeman's good for you, something like the generic ones. So like Nova Master or the Shining. It's good for stuff like that. And the two copies of Honest Neos. This card is like an elemental. Is like Honest just for the deck. So it even works for your evil heroes, and we know that the evil heroes do sometimes struggle with attack points. So Honest Neos just gives them an extra 2500. It's actually very good if you're using it with cards like Infernal Wing, because Infernal Wing's effect will trigger and give this more attack, and it just makes it go for the big push. And the one copy of Shadow Mist, we are running Masked Heroes, and you can only have one Shadow Mist in your deck. It's limited to one, so that's why I can only run one. If it's special summoned, you get to add a change quick play to our from our deck to our hand, so it searches it out. And also, if this card goes to the grave, we get to add an element. We get to add any hero, even an evil hero, from our deck to our hand. So it's very good for searching for both spells and your traps. Sorry, spells and monsters. Sorry. The two copies of Solid Soldier. If this card is normal summoned, you get special summon a level 4 or lower hero monster from your hand, so it can even work for Infernal Prodigy if you really want to. And also if this card is sent from a monster zone to the graveyard by a spell effect, so a fusion or by mass change, we also get to special summon a elemental hero from our graveyard. So, a hero monster from our grave in defense. So if you use this with Mass Charge, you get to select like the Stratos or the Shadow Mist, bring it back from the grave. And if you're using the Stratos, you get to search out a card like an evil hero. It's good for your fusion plays with Dark Fusion and with the polymerization. It's good to bring out. It's good to search out the fusions. And speaking of Stratos, we're running the run copy of that. You can only run one. It's limited to one. When Stratos is normal special summoned, you get to add a hero card from your deck to your hand, which is Beast. It's not a once per turn as well, and also you can destroy spell or traps on the field equal to the number of monsters you control. So a nice tactic to do is to summon the Stratos, fusion summon, or go into a link play. Use the Solid Soldier's effect, especially if you fusion summon. Fuse it with the you fuse it with the Solid Soldier. You get to bring out your fusion monster. Solid Soldier's effect will bring back the Stratos. Stratos effect is going to search out another card. So doing it that way, you get to search out two elemental heroes. And say if you've got a Dark Fusion, you can play that, go into a evil hero play. Using the one Wildheart, I really wanted to put it with these cards, but I couldn't because of this whole deck, because of the whole game. Wildheart you only want one of because we're going into Wild Cyclone, and also it's good for an Earth attribute, so it's good for the Mass Charge as well. You only want one, don't want it too bricky. Moving on to evil heroes, we've got one Infernal Prodigy and one Malicious Edge. If you can do the Infernal Prodigy and Malicious Edge combo, it's great. Basically, if you control no monsters, you special summon this bad boy, and because it's a special summon, you can still tribute Malicious Edge. Malicious Edge, if your opponent controls a monster, this card can use one tribute. So with just these two cards, you could bring out Malicious Edge with 2600 attack points, which is nice. And should Infernal Prodigy be tributed for a hero monster, you get draw a card. So if you do it this combo, you get draw a card. You don't really use it for that. You really use it for the Infernal Prodigy is good for the link play, and if Malicious Edge is just good for obviously Malicious Fiend. It's so easy to bring out. And the 2 copies of Keeper of Dragon Magic, sorry. I tried running 3 of this deck and it just, for me, just came too bricky, so I decided to cut it down to 2. Should this card be normal special summoned, you get to discard a card, which is good if you've got like a brick hand, and you get to add a fusion or polymerization. So this card does search out Dark Fusion, so that's good. That's the main reason we're running it. And also, you can its second effect is you can send a fusion material whose name lists on a card, like all of our evil heroes. You get special summon it face down, but you can't special summon monsters as fusion monsters for the remainder of the turn, which doesn't actually hinder us one little bit. So that's why Dragon Keeper is good. And the 3 copies of King of Swamp. This card can substitute for any of our evil heroes, and also you can discard it to add a polymerization, which is good as well. But the main so just this one card, you can actually use it with Masked Hero, and you get to treat it as a elemental hero. Please bear that in mind. But you can play Dark Fusion with this. Use this with Malicious Edge to bring out the Malicious Fiend. You can substitute it for any of your any of your other elemental hero monsters. You can even choose it for the other evil heroes. So I don't know, Avion and this card can bring out evil Infernal Wing. This card does a lot of stuff. So that's why we want 1/1/3. The one Vision Hero Viron. If this card is non-special summons, you get to send a hero monster from your deck to the grave, which is good for Dark Calling. Also, you get to banish a hero monster from your grave to add a polymerization from your deck to your hand. So it searches out the polymerization, which is nice. A nice combo is to summon this card, send the Dark Mist to the grave, and then Dark Mist's effect will trigger, letting you add a hero card to your hand. So if you play the Dark Mist, it's easy to search out your cards for your fusion plays, like for Dark Fusion stuff. And also you get to discard, you get to banish whatever card you send, and you get to add a polymerization. So if you have that with Super Soldier, you can fusion summon and play Super Soldier's effect, which will trigger that off, which is nice. That's it for the monsters, guys. We're running into the spells. We're running 1 copy of A Hero Lives. If you control no monsters, you pay half your life points, special summon a elemental hero from your deck. It's good for Stratos because you get to play Stratos effect. It's good for the Shadow Mist because Shadow Mist is special summoned. It triggers that card's effect. It's just good for any scenario. You can even search out the specific card you want if you want to go for a fusion play as well. I'm only running Armor Crush, guys, with 3 other equip cards because we're running is Stole. And we want to do that because you get special summon a level 4 monster, which will trigger its effect. I don't really use Armor Crush for the actual effect, but it is nice because it's you can target a warrior monster against 300 attack. That's the main reason you'd use it if you draw this card. If you don't use it, you'd be sending it to the grave and you'd never use it. The one Dark Calling, you remove monsters from our hand or graveyard. It doesn't work on the field from play, and you get special summon a evil hero. Sorry. So it's good if you're setting up the graveyard with all your plays, and you can bring out an evil hero for the win. 3 Dark Fusions. This card is basically the opposite. It's from the monsters from the hand or field, so it's like a polymerization. It's Dark Fusion. The monsters summoned by this cannot be targeted by opponent's spell, trap, or monster effects for the turn. So it gives your monsters a little bit of protection, which is nice. Yeah, this card just brings out all of your evil heroes, and we're running all of them apart from Dark Gaia, so we're not we're doing good. And also it's searchable with Dragon Keeper. Using 2 emergency cores, search out the deck. That's all we're using it for. Get to add any one of our elemental heroes. That includes the Neosis card as well, in case you want to go for power play. This card, I tried to run 3, but I decided to drop it to 2 because it was just like too bricky. I just kept drawing it. I didn't need to play it. The 1 copy of Hero Mass. So you target 1 face-up monster we control. You send an elemental hero from our deck to the grave, and our monster we control becomes that target. So if you summon your King of Swamp. Your King of the Swamp. You play Hero Mass. King of the Swamp will be treated as an elemental hero because of this card's effect. If you send Shadow Mist's effect's going to trigger. You let you search a card, and because say you use it on the King of the Swamp, or you could even use it on the Dragon Keeper. They will be classed as elemental heroes. That way, you can use it with polymerization to bring out your hero monsters. You name it. Like this card is just so good. The one Magnum Shield, like I say, I'm using it for its Stole. This card actually has more of a decent play than Armor Crush, where the equip it can only equip to a warrior, and all of our cards are warriors apart from the evil heroes because they're fiends. If it's in attack mode, it gains attack equal to its defense, so it's good for the push. And it also has a defense effect where it gains defense equal to your monster's attack. We don't really use it for that. If you are going to use it, you use it for the attack boost. If not, it's just going to go to the grave due to its Stole's effect. And the two mass change. This card brings out your masked heroes. We're running 4, I believe. So this card brings it out. It's a quick play as well, so you can go battle whichever monster you want. Play this card. Go into the masked hero play. Then you get to attack again because it's a quick play. You get to target any hero monster. Even works on evil heroes as well. You special summon a masked hero from your extra deck, which is the same attribute. So we have a fire, we have a earth, we have 2 darks. So we have plenty of targets for this to trigger. And the one monster reborn, bring back a monsters from the grave. And also it's good for like Shadow Mist, you play it's a fair. You name it, you know what I mean. Like you get to bring back your monsters, so it's decent for the play. Moon Mirror Shield, again it's an equip card. We need to run 4. I decided to run this. If the equipped monster battles if the equipped monster battles your opponent's monster, this card will make it so it's always 100 attack points higher than the highest attacking monster your opponent controls. So this card kind of makes it so your monster will get over whatever, no matter what. So it kind of is decent for stalling, but again, you really want to use it for a stalls, but it's good for stalling if you draw it. The 2 polymerization, it's easily searchable with Blazeman and with the Vision Hero, so we'll be seeing this a lot. And it's also good if you're using it with the Solid Soldier because its effect will trigger if you're going to use it for fusion material. Get to bring out our Vision Heroes and our Elemental Hero monsters, and you can use their effects going off. One Rhoda is basically a E emergency call in the deck. But I'm playing this because you get to add a warrior monster. It basically acts as another E emergency call. Solidary Sword of Poison. This card is another decent equip card that I have to use because we're using the Link monster, like I keep saying. But this card is actually decent if you don't use it for the play and you're going to use it for Infernal Wing. So if you equip it to like Infernal Wing, its monster's attack, its attack will double during damage calculation, and Infernal Wing does piercing damage, and then her effect's going to trigger for burn damage. It is actually good if you're going to equip it with her, but if not, you can just send it to the grave for the play. And then 2 card piece of Fusion Reserve. I decided to run this. I quite didn't know which other cards I wanted to add, but I decided to add Fusion Reserve because we get to add a Fusion Pacific monster from our extra deck to our hand. So, say you want to add Lightning. Say you want to add Sparkman because of Lightning Golem. You get to add its effect. You get to go into the Dark Fusion if you wanted to. It just makes it easier for fusion summons. And also, if Polymerization is in the grave, you get to add it to your hands. That's kind of decent as well. And that's it for the deck, guys. Running on to the extra deck, we are running the 1 copy of Elemental Hero Giant Tornado and Nova Master. These 2 are your generic Elemental Heroes, like I keep saying. So they require any Elemental Hero monster plus a certain attribute. So Giant Tornado is Wind, Nova Master is Fire. So we have like 2 Wind attributes that can use for Giant Tornado. That's Avion and Stratos. And Nova Master, you can use Bastinatrix and Blazeman. So it's actually easier to bring out these cards. When Giant Tornado is summoned, all monsters your opponent controls half their attack and defense, which is great if you're going for the big plays or they've got a pesky boss monster on the field. And Nova Master is, if it destroys opponent's monster by battle, you get to draw a card, which is good for the drawing plays. Moving on to the Evil Heroes, we're running 1 Evil Hero Infernal Sniper, 1 Infernal Wing, 1 Lightning Golem, 1 Malicious Fiend, and 1 Wild Cyclone. So near enough, like I say, all of them, apart from the Dark Gaia, because I didn't really want to to put in a rock, because it kind of made it a bit awkward. So Infernal Sniper is a Clayman and Bestinatrix, kind of easy to do. It can't be destroyed by spells, which gives it a little bit of protection, and also during your standby phase, or your standby phase, you inflict 1,000 points of damage to your opponent. So it's burn damage, which is great. Infernal Wing. This is like what was it? Flame Wingman. Is used Avion and Bestinatrix. If this card attacks a monster in defense, you do piercing damage, which is great. And if this card destroys a monster by battle, you inflict your opponent with damage equal to whether its attack is higher or if attack or defense is higher. So if you destroy a monster with 2,000 attack and 0 defense, Infernal Wing will do piercing damage, but then she'll also deal your opponent 2,000 damage because the monster destroyed had more attack. It's like that. So this it's great if you're using this with like the Honest or with that sword card, because it just increases her attack and she just goes mad. Lightning Golem, it's Sparkman and Clayman. This is like the Thunder Giant, but just better. This card once per turn can target one monster on the field and destroy it. Just get rid of it. Even works on set cards as well. That's why Lightning Golem is Beast. Malicious Fiend, 1 Evil Hero plus one Malicious Edge plus a Fiend monster that's level 6 or higher. So you could even use all of your Evil Heroes and a Malicious Edge to summon Malicious Fiend, or you can go King of the Swamp and Malicious Edge to go into this card. So that's why it's good. This card, if your opponent enters the battle phase, they must attack. They can't exit the battle phase. And also, if they do, all monsters they control must attack this card. So if they accidentally enter the battle phase, they can't exit it, they must attack, and they have to attack Malicious Fiend. And with 3,500 attack, they're going to regret it, most probably. Wild Cyclone, Avion and Wild Heart you use for summoners. If this card attacks, your opponent can't activate spells and traps like Ancient Gears, which is nice. Also, if this card inflicts battle damage, you get to destroy all of your face down back row on your opponent's side of the field, which is nice as well. I say again, this is good for the Honest if you want to get over like big plays and want to play protectively. So it's like you get to add another 2,500 attack, which you get to 4,300, which is good. You can get over a lot of stuff, and if you're scared of your opponent's back row, they can't trigger because Wild Cyclone will prevent it, which is good. Going on to the masked heroes, we've got 1 Anki, 1 Darklaw, Dian, and Goka. So these two are dark attributes, so with the mask change, you have to use a dark attribute monster. We've got loads. This card can attack directly, but if it does so, your opponent takes half the damage, so take 1,400 points, which is still good. But if this card destroys the opponent's monster by battle, you get to add a charge play card from our deck to our hand, which means this card destroys the opponent's monster by battle, you add the mass charge, play this, you get to use Anki to go into the Darklaw, because they're both the same effects. They're both the same attributes. It just goes from there. Darklaw, this card is the reason why it took me so long to make this deck. It took so long to grind this card out. If any of your opponent's monsters or cards go to the grave, instead they're banished. So it gets rid of a lot of cards. Like if you play Darklaw against Sky Strikers, near enough shuts them down because they can't play a lot of their cards because they're just banished. They can't play the multi-roll to bring them back. It just shuts down a lot of stuff like Cyber Dragons, because they realistically you're discarding them, sent to the grave. They just can't do anything. Darklaw is just so good. And also, should your opponent draw a card outside of the draw phase, you get to banish 1 random card your opponent controls, which is just good as well. And neither of these effects are once per turn. So your opponent keeps trying to search, they're just going to keep banishing their cards. So it just makes it so good. 1 Masked Hero Dian. This card, you have to use an Earth attribute. We do have a few, which is good. When this card destroys opponent's monster by battle and sends it to the grave, you get to special summon a hero monster from the deck, which is level 4. So just this one card, bring out the Stratos, the Solid, the Vision. This card can just do a lot of stuff. And also 2,800 attack is decent as well. and the Goka. The only reason I've decided to put Goka in is because we are running a lot of fire attributes, and I actually found a lot of times where I actually had mass charge plus the fire, and I just couldn't do anything. So with this, we get to use it on Malicious Fiend, we get to use it on Inferno Sniper and Infernal Wing, and we have Blaze Man and Bestinatrix. We have 5 targets. Basically, this card gains 100 attack for every hero in the grave. That includes your Evil, your Visions, your Elementals, all of them. It gives 100 attack, which is nice. Speaking of Visions, we're running Vision Hero, I can't pronounce that one, and then the Trinity. This card is actually the most go-to one because it's very generic. You need 2 hero monsters, which is good. I mainly just use it just for the fusion. I don't really use it for its effect. But its effect is you get to target 1 basic monster your opponent controls. You get to send another hero monster you control to the grave. Your opponent's monster loses attack equal to whichever monster you attribute to, which is nice. Gets over plays, which is decent. And then the Trinity, it's this card's if this card's fusion summoned for the rest of the turn, its attack points double, which is great. And which makes it 5,000. And also this card can make a second and a third attack during each battle phase, but it can't attack directly, so that kind of hinders it. But it's good. It's good for getting over boss monsters like Chaos Max Dragon, I suppose. Then moving on to the links, we're using one Ishtol. This card just makes this deck so good. So when this card's link summoned, you get to add a warrior from our deck to our hand. All of our elemental heroes are warriors, so it just searches out them. And also the main reason why I'm running the 4 equip cards, like I say. You get to send any number of equipped cards with different names from our deck to the grave. Then you get special summon a warrior whose level is equal. So if you don't draw any of your equipped cards, you get to send all 4 of them to the grave. You get special summon a level 4 elemental hero, which is this 3 great targets, or 4 great targets: the Vision, the Shadow Mist, the Stratos, and the Solid Soldier. You get to play them, which is why you want to do it. If you do get one, you can still play Hero Effect and summon the Bestinatrix and Avion, so it's not that bad. And then the extra hero, Wonder Driver. This card, you just link summon for 2 hero cards. It's actually very decent. And whenever a hero monster is normal special summon next to this card's link, you get to add a Polymerization or Dark Fusion from our grave to our hand, or the Mass Charge as well. So it recycles that and get to set them. And also, if this card is destroyed by battle and sent to the card, or sent to graveyard, or by card effect, you get to special summon a hero monster from your hand. So if you're holding on to that malicious edge, you can summon this guy if Wonder Driver goes to the grave. And that is it for the deck, guys. I'm sorry I kind of rambled on a bit, but it's very interesting for this deck because I actually trying to search a lot of ways, and it's actually very hard to find evil hero decks that aren't from the including the new support. So I tried my best, guys. I say if you think this deck deserves it, chuck a link down below. If you think there's any way to improve this deck, again, put it down below. I'm more than welcome to improve this deck. So I actually love evil heroes, and I can't wait for the new support. And with that, guys, that's it. If you have any more decks you would like me to make, I'm more than happy to make them. Just let me know either on here or on my Twitch, and I'll try and make them. And I hope you enjoy the replays, guys. Take care. Goodbye.